Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Coping with Life. I am your host, as always, Scott. Welcome. It is Saturday. Woo! So, today is a very special episode, because I'm going to ramble about Final Fantasy Distant Worlds. Music from Final Fantasy. Now, it is, for people who don't know, Distant Worlds is music from Final Fantasy, with symphonies and chorals, and I think it's some of the most amazing things. Video game music live is amazing. This is my second Final Fantasy Distant Worlds concert. The first one was in 2018. And then the second one was June 14th, 2023, which was a couple of days ago. Therefore, this episode is this. So, I'm a little fuzzy on... So the way it's structured, if you've never been, and let me educate. We're getting right into it. It is split in two halves. You have part one, then there's a roughly 20-minute intermission, and then you close out the show. Which the roughly the first part's 40 minutes, and then the other is roughly 40 minutes, give or take. But it was a lot of fun. Doors opened at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Show started at 7:30. Now, I'm gonna go song by song. I'm going to misremember some of the songs and the placements. That's okay. I wrote down a majority of the first half. The second half, my apologies. In all honesty, I took like 3-4 photos, and that was especially for somebody who likes Sephiroth, and thought, okay. But I just enjoyed myself. I've been battling depression. I've been not doing well. I've been not feeling the best. Depression really does take over my life. And so I went out. I was the first person in line. Even to a few people was like, "Do you were here?" No, I'm first person in line. Not only that, I was the first person in the building, and I was the first person at the merch stand. And I was very excited. I was kind of worried that I wasn't going to be comfortable. Because I've been to this venue before. It's the Arlen Schnitzer Concert Hall in downtown Portland. And I've seen a couple concerts there. And I am a big guy. But I'm known for, getting nosebleeds, the cheapest ticket possible. And it just happened that, so when it comes to these type of events, I plan around things. I do many things, but it was announced, and then tickets went on sale, and I looked at nosebleeds, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of expensive. And so they weren't disappearing like normal. So I'm like, let me see what the lower seats go for, and it was the same price. And so the main, the dead middle, those were gone, but front row, stage right, which would be the left side, front row, last row of the main section, that wasn't taken, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. It was legitimately the same price as, the very back of the concert hall. And so I'm like, all right, this is happening. And so I'm like, it's a couple days after my birthday. I'm doing it. Plus I had a lot of fun the last time I went in 2018. And for me, being able to do something like that is very special. And so just thinking, you know what, I'm doing it. So months go by, June 14th hit. I'm excited, and so that's what I did. So I'm sitting in my seat. I took a few photos before the show, but I was in my happy space because the Final Fantasy music is amazing. Final Fantasy means a lot to me. It's a game that I grew up playing. And just so much. Now, I'm going to be honest. I was ready to hear a lot of repeats. That didn't really happen, except the main core. There's roughly 5-ish songs that they play at every show. And again, your mileage may vary, but just the 2 times that I went, that's my assumption. And so they started off with the classic, the prelude. So this is June 14th, the show that I went to. This is the set list. I just want to make sure that people know, and I'm clear on that. So they opened with the prelude, and I was smiling. I was enjoying myself. And the conductor is Arnie Ross, one of the main people who does Distant Worlds, and works very closely with Nobuo Uematsu and Square Enix. And they're part of AWR Music. Just throwing that out there. And the symphony and choral is from the same state, which was the Oregon Symphony. Okay, so they started with the Prelude, which is a classic. It's a banger, and then they went into Libere Fatale from Final Fantasy VIII, which was amazing. That song is a classic with the video package of the intro and a few other bits of later game. Then Arne Roth picked up the microphone and was talking a few bits. And then mentioned that that they were going to play some music from Final Fantasy VI. And they played Phantom Train, which, well, first it was Phantom First, then Phantom Train, and then there was another one after that. I'm blanking on the name, but it was basically the Phantom Trilogy melody, and then they had Sabin suplexing the train, got a huge pop from the crowd, because, again, suplexing the train. That is, I mean, if you've ever played Final Fantasy VI, or if you're known from the original Final Fantasy III in the United States, but in Japan it's Final Fantasy VI. Then they played a song which I was spoiled in 2018 of the song that they played then. And this time around, equally, they played a few songs that I'm very happy with. They played Cosmo Canyon. And then they did Ignis and Revis, which is an amazing song if you haven't. It is on Distant World Volume 5, which is the green cover. Then they played after Libere Fatale, they did play the Victory theme, which is very short. But again, my apologies. Then Arne Ross was talking about how there was this one song that they've been trying to get for many years. And the people at AWR Music had to literally transcribe the song from the game to recreate it. And that song was Balam Garden from Final Fantasy VIII, which I'm all for, because I just recently beat Final Fantasy VIII again, and so that was kind of fresh in my mind. Then they played Festival of the Hunt from Final Fantasy IX, which I do believe is a repeat from the first time that I saw them in 2018. Then they played a Final Fantasy XIV song called "Torn from the Heavens." And that was just a great song. If you've played Final Fantasy XIV, which is an online MMO, and that just in itself was amazing and a great visual package. And then they played a Chocobo melody, which they did on the 20th or the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy. This is the 36th year anniversary of Final Fantasy. In December, it will be 36 years of Final Fantasy. So that's very special, going back to a classic Chocobo melody. And then intermission. I stayed in my seat. I didn't really do much. By the way, my seat was very comfortable. For being a big guy, it was very comfortable. And so intermission, I stayed in my seat. And again, some of these set lists will be incomplete or different because I didn't write them down and my brain's a little fuzzy and I just wanted to enjoy my time. But I did my best to complete it as the best that I can. So they started off with a song from Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is not on any of the Distant Worlds albums that are currently out. Hopefully it is on Volume 6 whenever that comes out. And that was The Chosen from the Planet. Then they played another song from Final Fantasy IX called Roses of May. Then they played a song from Final Fantasy 13 called Blinded by Light. Then they played another song from 14, Heaven Sword. And they if I recall, they played another song that I don't quite yes, they played Battle of Four Fiends. A Battle of Four Fiends with art from Amano, who does so much amazing Final Fantasy artwork that is almost on every single cover of all the games, and a lot of concept art. I'm a huge fan of his art style. Then they played a battle medley from 1, 2, 3, and 4. Victory theme. And they also played a song from Final Fantasy V. Give me 1 second, please. Thank you for holding on. Yeah, they played, I do believe it was the main theme from Final Fantasy V. And after the battle medley, they did the victory theme. And I think the battle medley was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I could be wrong. It was either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 through the years. I think that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if I recall. Yeah, I do believe, yes, because I remember seeing Tara at the end. So yes, I'm gonna go with that. Then they played the Anarchant, which is from Final Fantasy X. And then they closed the show with a song called Final Fantasy, the theme of Final Fantasy, the end, and, start credits. And then we have the encore, which is just one song. And that is the banger, the classic One-Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII. And just so much fun. So much fun. And that was the show. And I went home. Before I went home, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I want something else from the merch table. But the line that I was in, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I already got the thing that I really wanted, which I'm very honest. I'm very honest and upfront with everybody. I don't really have a lot of money. Most days I'm very broke. But I was very fortunate to have a little bit of money saved up. Mainly it was for my Japan trip. I'm being 100% honest, because any money that I get goes to Japan. I didn't really have much in there. But knowing that, shipping prices, buying things online, and the main thing that I buy stuff from is Amazon. And if you look up these on Amazon, they are outrageous. I couldn't afford them on a good day. And so they had the Distant World, the vinyl. I'm just getting into vinyl, and I have very few. And so I got the vinyl. They had just the Distant World vinyls, and so my Japan trip fund is completely depleted, which I'm not really sad with. I mean, I am very sad that not able to do Japan anytime soon, but I got vinyl for Final Fantasy music, and I've been listening to them, and they're definitely happy making. When I'm not feeling like I want to play games or do anything, I just put them on the turntable that I have, which isn't the best quality. It is one of those very cheap all-in-ones that's basically made out of plastic, that I got on Amazon in October. but I put them on, and definitely happy making it, and it takes me back to, a happy place. And hey, there's something about vinyl. I don't know what it is, but I'm very grateful. And yeah. That was the Final Fantasy concert. Now, going in, I really didn't expect too much. A lot of the songs that I thought they would play, they didn't. Just because, and I'm saying that's a good thing. I've been to a lot of similar concerts where they basically have a set list and they don't really change it very much over the years. But I give it up for them to keep on changing it up. I like that. Now, they didn't, from what I recall, they didn't play anything from Final Fantasy 12 or 11. Now, during the Chocobo medley, majority of the entire medley was Final Fantasy 11 clips with a little 13 and a lot of the older games from 1 through 6. Well, technically 2 through 6. Because if I recall, Chocobo was not in the first game. But yeah, they didn't play anything from 12, if I recall. Which I really liked 12. 12's music was amazing. And obviously they didn't play anything from Final Fantasy 16. Technically that's not out. Arnie Ross did mention it. And hopefully, the next time I see them live, they will play music from 16. But the music that they did play meshed very well. It was a great variety. And with the chorus, and it was just a lot of fun. And being front row, looking at the violin section, I quite enjoyed myself. And with a lot of things, I think that was a good experience. Now, in 2018, I, unlike this time where I bought my tickets in advance, I got my ticket the day of the show. And I was on the floor in the way back. On the right, on stage right. And I remember being very uncomfortable. And they played a lot of amazing songs. They played Fang Theme in 2018. Which, again, Final Fantasy 13. And they played The Man with a Machine Gun, which is Final Fantasy 8. Then Uh, I don't remember much else. But it was. I had a lot of fun, and not a lot of overlap. And the overlapping that they did are songs that I can listen to a lot. And very, very blessed. And like I mentioned, it was basically a birthday gift to myself. And I honestly had very much fun. And if you have a chance to do Distant Worlds or A New World, which is very similar to Distant Worlds, I highly recommend it. And I like orchestra's symphony. I saw Weird Al maybe in 2019 in Seattle, where he had a 48-piece band with him doing his music. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Like, yes. So me being a main metalhead or a Taylor Swift fan, I do enjoy, orchestras and symphonies. That's something that I quite enjoy. And majority of it I don't understand, but I still enjoy it. Which I don't think that's a bad thing. But I had fun downtown Portland. And again, if you have a chance to see, video game music performed live, because I'm sure that there are many types, like Distant Worlds of Final Fantasy and A New World into music with Final Fantasy. And I highly recommend it. And I give it a 10 out of 10. And do I have any complaints? That other than not playing songs from Final Fantasy 12. But again, I understand they're on a time crunch, and I don't know the turnaround that they have to learn all the music. That's not lost on me, and so I'm okay. But just being the big fanboy of 12 I am. And so actually, while I'm here, excuse me, let me talk about merch. So again, your mileage may vary. So A Distant World, Final Fantasy merch and merch prices. So they have Again, your mileage may vary. This is from my experience. So they have a lot of CDs, mostly imported from Japan, of a lot of the older games, and so they are almost $50 each. That's expensive. The vinyls were $35, and that not goes into a lot of other things, like sales tax, etc. And so, and they offered a few other things like music boxes or plushies of Tidus and Yuna from Final Fantasy X. They were extremely expensive, but I only got a vinyl. But the selection that they had of the CD that they offered, they had 9, 12, couple ones from 14, 7 remake. They had a great selection, and again, limited quantities, so majority of all those were gone in a flash. Especially when, again, I was the very first person at the merch table, and I was pretty quick. But some of those CDs were gone while I was still at the table. Now, I wasn't really looking for them. Now, back in 2018, there was only one CD that I wanted to get, and that was Final Fantasy XII. And I still have it, and I listen to it a lot. Because the vocal track from Final Fantasy XII is one of my favorites. And I'm just saying that. And so, but the merch that they offer, again, mileage may vary, depending on, many factors. There was a book, about the concert program type thing, but that was super expensive, and I'm talking about like $40 something dollars, and it's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. But I get it, I'm no complaints from me. I'm just stating, it's like, I can't do it. But I had a lot of fun. And I got home. I got home pretty safely. And all in all, it was 10 out of 10. It was Sephiroth out of 10. I really enjoyed all the video packages. And to me, again, I don't remember 2018 very well, but I don't remember Arne Ross talking very much. This time around, it felt like he talked a lot. And I had lots of fun, and I'm definitely want to go again eventually. And so that's this week's words are hard. That's this week's episode of Coping with Life, Disabled and Mentally Ill. I am your host, Scott. Now, I say this every week, or I try to say this every week. Know that you're loved. Tell the people in your life you love them. Tell them that you care, because you never know when they're not there anymore. And, tell the people that you love them, that you care about them, that you're thinking about them. Do good things, and pay it forward if you can. Lift people up. I try really hard to spread positivity. And even when I was at the concert, the ushers, the security supervisors, very pleasant. It's like, have a wonderful night, have a wonderful day. And just spreading the positivity. And I got to say what I say a lot, and I mean it. And at first, if people have never heard me say this, wait until I finish, because this is a good message. I hope it's a good message, because it's what I believe. If hypothetically I yelled at you and then I ruined your day, and then you yell at 3 people, and those 3 people yell at 3 people, and in a few hours you just affected over 100-something people. You've made a lot of people unhappy with your one bad day, with your actions that you don't realize. But being positive, being happy, it doesn't have that same effect. Because if you do something nice for somebody, they may not pay it forward. They may not appreciate very much. They will appreciate that you did something very kind for them. But it doesn't really trickle upward like if you're being negative. Negative spreads so much faster, rapidly, than being happy, being positive. And I'm trying my best to do that kind of stuff. And, me being who I am, I am somebody who can be very honest, very upfront, and I do my best. I'm 100% honest that, I am missing teeth. I'm, quote unquote, a retard. I'm very positive from the stuff that's happened to me in my life, that I've been told by a few people close to me who have known my story, is like, why aren't you, a grumpy, miserable person? Because you have all right to be, from the stuff that you've been through in your life. And I'm like, that's not me. I want to be happy. I want to spread the positivity, because, I fight so much to be here. I deserve to be here, no matter what people tell me of the negativity of the stuff that I've been told my entire life. I'm here, and my purpose is to help people, make people smile, and yeah, I have, zero money. Okay, I'm single. I I do a lot of things to make other people feel better, and I want people to be happy. Because I know what it's like to be alone. I know what it's like to be miserable. And those bad, intrusive thoughts permeate my brain every single day, all day. I try really hard to combat that with my positivity and, the Scottyisms, the Boltisms, the words of encouragement, lift people up. And I have dreams. I've been told many times that they will never come true, but yet I still fight for them. I still dream. I don't let that stop me. And I like holding conversations. Words are not my friend. I try really hard. But I like making people laugh. Or have a real conversation. I don't get why people are rude or take their negativity on people. Especially people like me. Because you never know what somebody's going through. You never know that person smiling who's trying to spread all the positivity. People like me. You don't know what's going through their mind of, maybe they don't want to be here anymore. You don't know what somebody's battling through, so why deflect your hate upon other people? I don't get that. You live the life you want to live. How you live your life that's up to you. I'm just one person trying to spread the love, the positivity, and there's no ulterior motives. I'm tired of people when I send a message, it's like, what do you want? It's like, nothing. I'm just wanting to have a conversation, and that's the wrong mindset. It's like, for me, I just, I genuinely care. And that's just who I am. And I respect everybody. I love everybody, and I want to learn and educate myself, and not only take risks. That's this is season 3. We're continuing the journey into the unknown, but we're also taking risks. I'm taking a leap of faith, and I hopefully good things will happen to me, and things that I deserve. And I hope you have the day that you deserve. And I wish you the best. No matter where you are in the world, whatever your life story is, you matter. You have accomplished something amazing. You're here. And you're still here. And I'm appreciative of you 100%. And you may be struggling, or you may know somebody who is struggling. And it means a lot to me that there's amazing people who know that I don't promote myself. I don't get out there, and a lot of you people who listen, tell your friends and family, post this on many different. I appreciate you. for doing that. You don't have to. And, you know, it just means the world because, you know, I'm me, and I'm trying to spread the love, the positivity, and, you know that, every day in my life is a struggle. Doing something like Final Fantasy Distant Worlds, which is something very special, very expensive to that. But I was able to do it. And it definitely combated a lot of depression, and just being able to experience it. I wish I had other people to experience it with me. That would have been nice, but again, I'm alone, and I don't get to do the things with people. People don't want to hang out with me. People don't want to spend time with me. When I want to do these events that I go to, I save a lot. I plan, and sometimes, it's like I just can't do that. And then after the event, when I'm there, it's like, oh, why didn't you tell me you were going? I would have it's like, I did tell you. It's like, oh. And then they say things, and then it's like, so, I try really hard to do things for me, and I'm glad there's a lot of amazing people that I'm surrounding myself with now that are like, I'm so glad that you could do that. I know how much Final Fantasy means to you. I'm glad that you could do that. Those are amazing feats. Memories that will last forever. Those things, that positivity, that's amazing. Instead of negative. But again, I wish, other people could be there with me, because I like shared experiences. But, I get it. And, I'm used to disappointment, but I try and find the positivities, and I'm glad that I got to do it. And I'm, that's something that will last me forever. It just, I just put things into perspective. And I appreciate everybody. I love everybody. And, until next week. I don't know what next week is going to bring. It's unless things change, unless something drastic happens. Next week is going to be the last weekend before I have teeth removed. Again, unless things drastically change in my life, which would be amazing, or terrible, however you look at it. But I don't know what next week will bring. But no matter where you are in life, no matter how you are feeling, know that you're loved, know that you matter, know that I care about you, and chase your dreams. No matter how big or small your dreams are, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you land amongst the stars, which is a quote by Les Brown. I may have butchered the quote. I do apologize. But it's an amazing quote. It's an amazing thing, which I think everybody needs some positivity and drive to, continue your dreams. Again, no matter how big or small. And call your shot. Say, I'm going to do this. This is going to happen. Now, last week, I called my shot and that did not happen. I did not win the Powerball lottery on my birthday. But it was fun. To me, it was a fun episode. But, sometimes things don't go your way. And that's okay. And I want to thank everybody who's in my life. And thank you for being who you are. May you enjoy your amazing Saturday. Even if you're listening to this on a Wednesday, it's a Saturday. And enjoy your summer. Or work, or whatever it may be, whatever you're doing. Wherever you are listening to this, I appreciate you. And so, thank you so much for being you. Thank you for giving me your time. And know that you're special. And don't let anybody dim your light. Or talk down to you. Or tell you you're not worthy, because I'm glad you're here. You deserve good things. And big hugs. Big loves to everybody. Know that you can conquer whatever you dream up. And before I go, not only, having your dreams, having the destination is fantastic, but it's also the journey along the way. Because without the journey, the hard work, the day that you may or may not want to do stuff, that tells a story. And, continue your journey to your destination, your goal. And even in your failures, your successes, you're doing it. Don't live in regret. Don't let things pass you by. Smile. All the love. Thank you so much. So much. And find your happy. Find your happy. Until next week, this has been Coping with Life, Disabled and Mentally Ill. I am your host, Scott. I bid you all adieu.